afternoon. It's News 360 coming to you live from the News Hub here at Adesawe Kanda. I am Portia Gabo.
And I am Martin Asiedu-Data. These are the headlines for the next 1 hour.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank.
NAGRAT President Angel Kabonu calls for urgent review of Ghana's educational system after poor performance in core math in the 2025 WASSCE.
And also coming up tonight, Chief Justice to commence determination of a prima facie case or otherwise in petitions filed against the Electoral Commissioner, her deputies and the Special Prosecutor.
And later in the bulletin, some members of the Kusau and Mampusi ethnic groups resolved to accept outcome of the Otumfuo-led Boko conflict mediation.
In business news, Bank of Ghana governor set to announce new capital requirements for non-interest banking and finance sector as regulatory guideline nears completion.
And on the international front, left-wing Cameroonian opposition figure Ansette Akane dies in detention 5 weeks after he was arrested. We are live around the world on our website 3news.com. We are also streaming on Facebook and on YouTube, and we always love to hear from you.
We begin from the Ashanti region, where some members from the Kusau and Mampusi ethnic groups have resolved to accept the outcome of the Otumfuo-led Boko conflict mediation. However, tension erupted just at the dying minute of the final day of mediation, leading to a swift police and military intervention. William Evans-Nkum has filed this report.
Security was heightened at the Menchia Palace hours before the arrival of the two ethnic groups. The Kusau delegation arrived at 11:30 a.m., 30 minutes before the arrival of the Mampusi delegation. Outside the walls of the Menchia Palace, supporters of both ethnic groups gather in anticipation. Peace is the target, and both appear committed to ending the years of conflict.
I think
But a calm situation almost turned sour when a member of one of the ethnic groups was hit by a motorbike. A swift military and police intervention restored calm.
This is the Kusau just behind me. And from here, it's just a walking distance. Not even up to 20 steps. Then you also get to the Mampusi. The only thing that separates them is this particular narrow road. And that is a very small gap. Now, to them, this has been the situation for many years. And today, they are expecting one thing to happen: a perpetual peace. Peace that will renew that restoration of the brotherly love that once existed between them. And they believe that whichever way it goes, they are ready to accept it. William Evans-Nkum, TV3 News, Menchia Palace, Kumasi.
And we all await to see what the final outcome will be. Let's turn our attention to education now. The West Africa Examination Council, WAEC, is probing a sharp drop in this year's WASSCE results, with over half of candidates failing core mathematics and a third recording F9 in social studies. While groups disagree on what caused the decline, the Ghana Education Service insists that the outcome reflects students' true performance. Grace Hamwa Ajiman has more in this report.
220,008 candidates failed core mathematics, making it the weakest performance recorded in 7 years. Head of Communications at the West Africa Examinations Council, WAEC, John Kapi says, while the council is worried about the turnout, they suspect a lack of understanding of the questions resulted in the low performance.
In a casual conversation with my people in charge of social studies, I gathered that there was a little twist, if you want, of the question. Instead of the rote learning that we are used to, he asked them to apply the knowledge that they had, the various subjects. So, I mean, in that particular subject, the various topics. So it's not as if they drifted off the syllabus, neither did they put aside the test blueprint. And then looking at the questions and asking them to apply the knowledge, that is probably where he thinks the problem is coming from.
A total of 461,736 candidates from 1,021 schools registered for the examination, representing a slight 0.24% increase over the 2024 figure. For education think tank Africa Education Watch, this year's results show that students did individual work, a position shared by the Ghana Education Service.
Kofi Asare, who previously was relying on APO or relying on ANZE's, collusion to pass, may now struggle, and his results will not be the same because he didn't prepare well. The policy regime. Look, we've been monitoring WASSCE since 2019. For the first time, the Ministry of Education, the minister pronounced that any teacher found participating in examination malpractice will be outrightly dismissed. That has never happened. Because even in the GNSS Code of Conduct, if you are found participating in examination malpractice, you are, first of all, suspended.
The Ghana National Education Campaign Coalition, GNECC, argues that the abysmal performance calls for government immediate attention.
We have been advocating for targeted investment in both teacher training and educational infrastructure in the education sector. Some of our schools these days are interested in preparing the children only to go and write exams and not to prepare them to take up the challenges of life. If the child is prepared holistically and that child goes to the exam hall and then goes to meet a question, that is when the child is able to, or the student is able to apply what they have learned practically.
Former Dean of Education at the University of Ghana, Professor Jonathan Fletcher, says it is all-encompassing from teacher training to infrastructure and even the examination environment.
Teaching is not just about teaching people facts and them memorizing the facts. It's about actually teaching people, concepts and skills and things that will help them, in real-life situations. And therefore, I think teachers must start putting emphasis on application now. There is a new curriculum, secondary school curriculum, as you probably know, and that curriculum is putting a lot of emphasis on application and not just people memorizing facts.
Stakeholders may disagree on the causes of the sharp decline, but the common demand is for urgent action to prevent an even bigger decline next year. Grace Hamwa Ajiman, TV3 News, Accra.
Meanwhile, President of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, Angel Kabono, is calling for an urgent review of the country's education system to prevent what it describes as a looming collapse. My colleague Daniel Opoku has more in this report.
The President of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, Angel Kabono, says this year's WASSCE performance highlights the need for a comprehensive review of the country's education system.
The system we are running, is it beneficial to our children? Is it aiding proper teaching and learning? Are we producing students who understand what they have studied to become worthwhile citizens of our society? Education should be reviewed regularly. Education is like life. You review life so as to enhance your wherewithal for the betterment of tomorrow.
He urged politicians to stay away from the day-to-day management of education and allow professionals to take charge.
Please, politicians should hands off education and allow professionals to run education in this country. The sole financiers of education is the taxpayer. The politicians are just the conduit through which the money passes.
Responding to the concerns, Press Secretary to the Minister of Education, Hashimin Mohammed, assured the public that the government is committed to addressing the situation.
Reverting the curriculum to the normal WAEC curriculum system, where we can have students taking the exams at the same time other West African countries are taking the exams. So all these are enforcement mechanisms we are putting in place to ensure that the results that our students, our learners are producing are credible enough to compete globally.
Hashimin Mohammed revealed that the Ministry of Education will soon roll out a new strategy aimed at tackling the rising failure rates.
We want to end the double track by 2027, and we have initiated measures to end it. Already, about 100 double track schools have been reverted into single track. And going forward in 2026, we want to improve infrastructure across board and then also improve the training of teachers.
Right, so let's turn our attention to the Office of the President now, because the President has forwarded some petitions to the Chief Justice. Chief Justice Paul Bafuboni is set to determine whether or not there is a prima facie case against Special Prosecutor Kisie Jabing, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, and her two deputies, after President John Mahama forwarded petitions for their removal to him. President Mahama, in accordance with Article 146 of the Constitution, forwarded the petitions to the Chief Justice for examination. The Office of the President received a total of 10 petitions. Now, according to TV3 sources, 7 of the petitions were filed by private citizens seeking the removal of the Electoral Commission chairperson and her deputies. The remaining 3 petitions seek the removal of Special Prosecutor Kisie Jabing, alleging various misconducts by the heads of these 2 institutions. And from all indications, it looks as though that the Chief Justice will be very busy, especially between now and the end of the year, because these petitions have actually reached his desk based on information we are getting from our sources. And it also gives an indication what we should be looking forward to. But let me take you through the specific text of the act that set up the Special Prosecutor's Office, and then we can all be on the same page as we follow what exactly is expected to happen. So we know that the Special Prosecutors Act 2017, Act 959, is what set up that office, and it clearly outlines what should happen in case there is the need to remove the Special Prosecutor. It says from Part 15 that the Special Prosecutor shall not be removed from office except for 1. Stated misbehavior or incompetence, B. Incapacity to perform the functions of the office by reason of infirmity of body or mind, and 3. Willful violation of the office oath of official oath or oath of secrecy. And then, or if there is a conduct which brings or is likely to bring the office of the Special Prosecutor into disrepute or ridicule or contempt, or is prejudicial or inimical to the economy or security of the state. That is one of the stated grounds on which the OSP can be removed. Now, who can ask for the Special Prosecutor to be removed? It clearly states, Section 15.2 says that a person who seeks to remove the Special Prosecutor from office shall submit a petition to the President. And like we just indicated, the President has received 10 petitions, 7 for EC, 3 for the Special Prosecutor. And the third part goes on to say, where the President receives a petition for the removal of the Special Prosecutor, the President shall, mind you, the word there is shall, within 7 days, refer the petition to the Chief Justice, who shall, within 30 days, determine whether there is a prima facie case. So those 2 numbers should be in your mind. 7 days when the President receives it, between 7 days, he must forward it to the Chief Justice. And then within 30 days of receiving it from the president, the Chief Justice needs to immediately start to find out whether there is a basis for their removal. Now, 4, where the Chief Justice determines that there is a prima facie case or there is actually a true basis for the removal, then the Chief Justice shall, within 14 days, set up a committee consisting of 1, a person who is a justice of the Supreme Court, a lawyer of at least 15 years standing at the bar, and 1 other person with expertise in investigations. Now, this committee that the Chief Justice will set up is the committee that will now investigate to establish whether or not there is a case and then submit the findings to the Chief Justice. It goes on to say that the committee shall, within 90 days, investigate the matter and make its recommendation to the President through the Chief Justice. And this part 6 you need to pay particular attention to, because it says the President shall act in accordance with the recommendations of the committee. So whatever findings that this committee comes up with, the President is mandated to implement the recommendations of what is found out. So we'll just wait to see. This festive period is going to be really edgy for a number of people. 2 of them we know, the Chief Justice and the EC Chair. I beg your pardon, the EC Chair and also the Special Prosecutor. These 2 individuals are likely to have to know what their end will be if this investigation is completed. We'll keep you posted in subsequent bulletins. Back to you, Portia.
Thank you so much, Martin. Let's continue with the rest of our stories. And government is engaged in ongoing discussions with drone delivery service Zipline regarding the future of its critical medical supply contracts. Health Minister Kwabena Minta-Kando says despite public scrutiny and parliamentary pressure, a decision on whether to terminate this partnership has not yet been reached.
A contract was signed in 2018. It took effect in 2019. And as part of the contract, there were clauses known as take or pay clauses in the agreement. And the contract was sole sourced. Now, for every month, Ghana government was and is supposed to pay $88,000 per center per month. $88,000 per center per month. So if you do the computation, we are paying more than, because we have 6 centers, so we are paying a little over $500,000 every month for the services of the drones. What is more interesting, and I think everybody needs to know, is the fact that in the beginning of this contract, the idea was that we were not going to use government of Ghana money to pay, but upon review of the activities, what we have realized is that the hard-to-reach areas constitute only 12% of the activities, 12%, 1-2, and emergency services is 4% of the activities. And it will interest you to know some of the items they fly. Items like condom, blood donor cards, not blood donor cards, mosquito nets, food and nutrition items, adhesive tapes, syringes and needles, education materials, among other things, textbooks, exercise books, uniforms, and a lot more. So these are some of the items they have been flying. And so when we came to office, we think that there must be value for money. And therefore, we are engaging them. So if you hear that we are not engaging Zipline, it's not true. Whether or not to cancel Zipline, we have not gotten to that point yet. We are still engaging them. When we get there, you will hear what decision we will take.
Let's go to energy-related matters now. The government of Ghana, under the African Development Bank, Climate Investment Fund, and Swiss State Secretariat for Economic Affairs funded program is offering free solar net meters and subsidies for households and SMEs to acquire new solar PV systems. The net metering is an electricity billing machine or mechanism that allows customers who generate their own energy through solar to export the excess power to the national grid and receive credit for it.
The net metering solar PV project under the Scaling Up Renewable Program SRIP aims to contribute 13.5% of renewable energy, excluding hydropower, to the energy mix. It is also to help achieve universal electricity access by 2030. The project is offering a free net meter and capital subsidy to households and SMEs who would want to purchase solar PV systems of capacities between 2 and 10 kilowatts peak. It also seeks to install 12,000 net meter solar PV units. Eunice Brechum is Executive Secretary of the Energy Commission.
It is the culmination of over a decade of persistence, collaboration, and steady progress towards making distributed renewable energy, especially rooftop solar PV, a practical and accessible option for every Ghanaian and business.
Funding is coming from the African Development Bank, Climate Investment Fund, and the Swiss State Secretariat for Economic Affairs. The country manager for the African Development Bank, Jerusalem Fasika, spoke about the program.
The importance of renewable energy cannot be overstated. Ghana, like many nations, recognizes that reducing dependence on fossil fuels and expanding the use of renewable energy sources are indispensable to achieving sustainable development.
According to the Deputy Minister of Energy and Green Transition, Richard Jan Mensah, the project is a testament of government's commitment to building a resilient energy future.
Today, our non-hydro renewable capacity stands at 280 megawatts, representing about 5% of the national mix. With optimism, we are looking forward to achieve 7% by 2027 through strategic rollout of SRIP.
To benefit from the net metering scheme, a facility must have a solar PV system with feedback capability, a grid connection, and compliance with the local distribution and net metering codes.
In more news tonight, the Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations is urging government to fast-track the passage of the revised Disability Act. To ensure stronger accountability, the Federation is also calling for the National Council of Persons with Disability to be elevated to the status of an authority.
The Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations says since the Disability Act, Act 715, was passed in June 2006, its implementation has been slow. The Federation raised concerns about missing provisions in the current Act, including measures for disaster management. According to the Federation, gaps in the current law continue to hinder access to education, employment, healthcare, transport, and justice for persons with disabilities.
We continue to face inequalities. We want a strengthened Disability Act that will modernize Ghana legal framework, ensure clearer institutional responsibilities. We stand ready to partner with government, parliament, and all stakeholders to ensure that the revised act is passed and effectively implemented. And what we are saying is that the time to act is now. Ghana must not delay any further.
The Federation is further appealing for the National Council on Persons with Disability to be upgraded from a council to an authority to strengthen its mandate.
We are also calling for the elevation of the National Council on Persons with Disability, to raise it from the current council status to an authority. We believe that when it is able to secure authority status, it will have its own budget. As it says now, the council's budget is a component of the ministry's budget, and we are having a lot of difficulties with that.
The former president of the Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations, Yao Ofori Deborah, lauded the government for implementing free tertiary education for persons with disabilities.
I assure you that all the tertiary institution authorities have been brought into the picture. They have been authorized to operationalize that commitment from government. I believe from this academic year, they are going to enjoy it.
Gab Health Insurance Company Limited, one of Ghana's leading private health insurers, is marking a major milestone as it celebrates 5 years of operations. The company has climaxed its anniversary activities under the theme 5 Years of Impact Shaping Tomorrow's Healthcare.
As part of the celebration, Gab Health Insurance brought together key stakeholders in Ghana's health and insurance sector to reflect on its 5-year journey and highlight progress made in strengthening private healthcare financing. The company showcased its achievement over the years, including innovations that have expanded access to quality healthcare for individuals and corporate clients. A major highlight of the ceremony was the unveiling of its new AI assistant named Ohima, designed to enhance customer experience and streamline service delivery. Managing Director Joseph Abene Yeboah shared the reason behind the AI assistant.
We have tried to use technology to help members. So for example, if you want to know which hospitals are readily available within the vicinity that you are in, you don't have to call us. Go to Ohima, I want a facility close to Jowlu. Ohima will give you all the facilities, the contacts, the location. You can assess service, what is my cover limit, who are the dependents on my scheme. You can just go to Ohima. Ohima will give you all the information that you require.
Board member Doris Atifwa spoke about how aligned they are with their regulators.
When it comes to the capital ratios or the whatever it is that we have to put in place, we have it all set up. And our service providers are really very happy with us. We're doing so well. Sometimes we even pay our service providers in advance before we process their claims for payment. So we are very much on point.
Under its anniversary theme, the event emphasized the company's role in complementing national health care efforts and its vision for the future of private health insurance in Ghana.
In One News Tonight, the Christmas season officially lit up at the Christiansborg Stake Center, where the Miracle of Christmas, a spiritually uplifting program organized by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, brought together church members and visitors for an evening of music, reflection and celebration. It was a night filled with warmth and reverence as families gathered under a beautifully decorated setting to commemorate the birth of Jesus Christ.
The annual Miracle of Christmas event featured inspiring hymns, scripture readings, and a symbolic portrayal of Mary and the infant Jesus, reminding the congregation of the true meaning behind the season. First Counselor in the Africa West Area Presidency of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Elder Adeyinka Ojediran, addressed the gathering with a message centered on faith, gratitude, and the spirit of giving.
As the world rejoices to celebrate his birth, my message today is a reminder that that gift is a gift to save souls, is a gift to show love, is a time to show kindness, and more importantly, gratitude for that special gift. If anybody has wronged you or offended you, the gospel of Jesus Christ is a gospel of love, is a gospel of forgiveness.
Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Ablajifa Gomashi, praised the event for promoting cultural harmony and enhancing Ghana's tourism appeal, especially during the festive season.
In a season such as this, the season of giving, the season where God gave us his son, the ultimate gift, we are inspired by what the church and President Muhammad did to continue sharing love, to continue caring for one another. In promoting domestic tourism, you and I have to put our shoulders to the wheel because we have to do it together. And once we are doing it, keep the city clean.
Presidential advisor on the economy, Sir Tekbe, who delivered a speech on behalf of the Chief of Staff, commended the church for its role in strengthening families, nurturing youth, and promoting national peace.
Let us choose to be lights in our communities. Let us choose to be people whose values are consistent whether we are seen or unseen. Let us choose the kind of leadership that builds and unites our nation, our continent, and the world.
Leaders from major religions shared messages anchored on peace and unity. Many participants said it's provided a much-needed reminder of hope, unity, and will continue to serve as a beacon of faith and togetherness.
This is still News 360 on TV3. Tells you the Christmas season is already here. Stay with us. Michael Ogbodo will be bringing us the Christmas stories of business.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obudu. Now, the Bank of Ghana is set to announce a new capital requirement framework for non-interest banking and finance, commonly known as Islamic banking. The disclosure was made by an advisor to the Central Bank, Professor John Gachi, at the 2025 Continuous Professional Development and Induction Seminar organized by the Association of Certified Chartered Economists in Accra.
Non-interest banking and finance, NIBF, operates on Sharia principles that prohibit the charging of interest. Instead, it focuses on profit sharing, asset-backed financing, and ethical investments. The model has been expanding globally, with Ghana positioning itself to fully regulate and deepen its participation in this alternative financial system. Speaking on the topic, the viability of non-interest banking in capitalist economy, the advisor to the Bank of Ghana revealed that the regulatory framework is nearing completion and will be announced by the governor soon.
We expect some windows to be established. We also expect some fully fledged non-interest bank to be established. I'm aware some conventional banks are upbeat about establishing a window, and that will definitely happen.
The event also explored pressing global economic concerns. Senior research lead and financial consultant Dr. Edmond Nkrumah warned that escalating global trade wars are beginning to distort investment flows, disrupt employment, and slow overall economic growth.
Africa is just gaining about 0.04% of GDP. And why are we losing what? A lot, because Africa is not well connected with the international world. So Ghana, which is just like a $250 billion economy, definitely will shrink when there is, there's this form of trade wars.
Technology and data innovation also took center stage. Assistant Registrar at the Sunyani Technical University, Philemon Jaba, urged economists to embrace artificial intelligence tools or risk being overtaken by them.
The danger is when you don't use AI. That is where somebody who knows AI will take your job. Because now certification only tick the box. What is a differentiator is AI.
The National Investment Bank, NIB, has launched a new mobile app to digitize its banking services, a move that aligns with the bank's overall push for digital transformation. Customers of NIB will experience more convenient banking with 24/7 access to services like cash transactions, payment of bills, and managing accounts.
It is banking made easier just to suit the convenience of customers. This is part of the National Investment Bank's broader transformation strategy to integrate innovation and improve their customer experience like never before. The National Investment Bank, through the launch of the mobile app, is stepping into the future of banking, embracing technology to decisively make life even more comfortable for customers.
With just a few taps, customers can open accounts, transfer funds, pay bills, buy airtime, access 24/7 real banking services. When a customer uses the NIB mobile app, they are just not interacting with software. They are connecting with a bank that sees them, values them, and work with them.
The bank is seeking to stand out in the evolving market, taking advantage of the 24-hour economy to make a bold statement with the all-new NIB mobile app, which is available on the Apple Store and Play Store.
There are people that the sight of entering a banking hall alone will be a challenge for them. So an app that serves you wherever you are is a very timely intervention and innovation, and we commend management for this.
The NIB mobile app is more than just a banking tool. It serves as a gateway to financial empowerment, allowing individuals and businesses to transact seamlessly. This aligns perfectly with our national strategy to deepen financial inclusion, promote cashless transactions.
For every staff member to feel belonging and treat customers with mutual respect and cordiality, the NIB Ubuntu initiative has been unveiled.
Companies
like NIB, that practice Ubuntu and Golden Rule will likely see higher level of customer satisfaction and more inclined to recommend you to friends and family. Treat your workers fairly, and they will be motivated to provide excellent service, which leads to satisfied and committed customers.
What NIB is doing is different. It is a landmark renewal stemming from the bank's profit-making agenda that has redefined the brand and made it even more attractive for business.
Now, stakeholders and qualifying beneficiaries of Mobile Money Fintech Limited have approved on a merger critical to meeting Ghana's financial services localization requirements. The vote represents MTN Ghana's final step in complying with regulations on the merger of Mobile Money Limited with Mobile Money Fintech Limited.
Mobile Money Fintech Limited was incorporated on October 16, 2025, specifically to serve as the new operating entity for MTN Mobile Money's business in Ghana. Under the proposed merger, all assets, liabilities, and concerning employees of Mobile Money Limited will transfer to the new company.
It is a Ghanaian incorporated company, and it will now run the mobile money business after the merger. We see the business being as robust as possible. We are planning on listing the shares of Mobile Money Fintech Limited within that stipulated period.
With mobile money now central to Ghana's modern financial ecosystem, this regulatory requirement is designed to strengthen domestic involvement, enhance the sector's resilience, and ensure greater accountability within digital financial services. Reacting to concerns raised by shareholders about the persistent fraud, the Chief Executive Officer of Mobile Money Limited, Shaibu Haruna, indicated that more efforts are being made to curb the menace, including adopting artificial intelligence.
It's our investment, which is ongoing and continuous, in having the right tools to support predicting, using AI to predict and analyze the fraud patterns and prevent it. What you don't normally visibly see is all the layers of filtering that we do in order to even block them from accessing you.
MTN Ghana expects to list Mobile Money Fintech Limited on the Ghana Stock Exchange within 3 to 5 years following the merger, subject to regulatory and corporate approvals.
And that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. We'll bring you updates now from the currency and the commodities market.
their first victory of the season, beating Dreams FC by 2-0. My colleague Mutala Yakubu was there and wraps up match day 12 action.
So match day 12 of the Ghana Premier League has come to a closure here at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. And the big news is that, surprise, surprise, 11 Wonders have finally won a game in this year's league. And it came in match day 12 with Emmanuel Edu guided them to beat Dreams FC by 2-0. That is a massive win for them, and their players are in ecstasy. For Heartland, they also ended their run of not winning games. So 3 games they had drawn all, and this time they also managed to win their game against Vision FC by 1-0. Are you scoring the only goal for the Phobians to lift them into the top half of the table? For Asante Kotoko, they were back to the Barbera Sports Stadium and were hopeful of getting a win against one of the strongest sides currently in the league, that is Medeama. But surprisingly, Medeama took a 2-0 lead, and Kotoko had to fight back with Peter Aqua Amidu and also Samba O'Neill scoring for them to tie the game at 2-2. It felt like a defeat for Medeama because their head coach Ibrahim Tango thinks they should have won that one. For Karim Zito and Asante Kotoko, they would take a point because they had to fight very hard. We also saw the likes of Hoho United go all the way to the Nana Fosuji Abo Park to beat Bechem by 2-1, and that will be a lot of confidence, a booster for them, because their next game will be against the likes of Asante Kotoko. Heartland will travel all the way to Karela. We also saw the likes of Swedru All Blacks all drawn their game, and the biggest result on the match day, that is match day 12, has to be Bebieni Gold Stars getting a 1-0 victory over Adriana, who are league leaders. It came as Atakumi scored the only goal for the Miners, as they are still in the running for the title. But Adriana are still on top of the Ghana Premier League table with the likes of Heart of Lions, Asante Kotoko, all in the mix. The race has just started and it promises to be interesting. Mutala Yakubu for 3 Sports at the University of Ghana Stadium.
To the United Kingdom now, where the Black Queens of Ghana engage in their final training session in Southampton ahead of their high-profile friendly against the 3 Lionesses of England. The team moved from Birmingham to Southampton on Sunday to fine-tune their preparations as they face the Women's Euro champions. England earlier beat China by 8-0 in a friendly, but Ghana head coach Kim Naseokagren believes the team is ready for the task ahead on Tuesday.
I understand. I mean, England played great, and in the same time, I think I respect China. I mean, we're talking about a team, a nation that is 16 in the world, and we are 67, so I can't blame them too much. But I think how they attacked the game, they did some mistakes. I think they were too afraid in the game. I think they were afraid to lose with big numbers.
Now, before we go, the World Cup draw will be held on December 5 at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. on Friday. Now, 48 countries, including host Mexico, Canada, and the United States, will be drawn from 4 pots into 12 groups of 4. My colleague Billy Shen takes a closer look at some of the key facts ahead of the draw.
Would span 39 days from June to July 2026. It would involve 48 teams divided into 12 groups, 4 teams each. Now, the top 2 in each of the 12 groups would qualify automatically to the round of 32, with 8 third best placed teams to join them in that particular round. Now, we'd have 6 extra knockout matches due to the fact that there's a round of 32 in there. And also the total matches in the 2026 World Cup have now increased to 104 from the previous 64. And also, so far, we have 4 debutants who have qualified to the tournament, including Cape Verde and Uzbekistan. But it could potentially increase after the playoffs takes place in March.
Well, keep an eye out on the draw, which is on Friday, as we bring in more updates on our social media handles at 3 Sports. GH, my name is Oreku Ampufo, and entertainment news is up next after this break.
entertainment.
Well, good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, DJ Sly King emerged as the big winner at the 2025 Guinness Ghana DJ Awards, taking home the prestigious DJ of the Year honor. Now, the night also celebrated DJ Lord OTV as Events DJ of the Year, while Kojo Manuel secured the title of Best MC Hype Man of the Year. According to Ya Amwa Owusu, the marketing manager for Spirits RTDs, Smirnoff remains dedicated to empowering DJs through greater visibility, networking, and new opportunities. Created some 13 years ago, the annual Ghana DJ Awards celebrate radio, mobile, and club disc jockeys who have distinguished themselves in the art of DJing. The platform also highlights the contribution of DJs to music promotion and their role in driving growth within the music industry. In contention for the topmost award, DJ of the Year, were 7 exceptional DJs who performed amazingly in the year under review. OTB. TMSK DJ from Prosky. DJ Sly King walked home with the coveted DJ of the Year award, while Joy FM's Doreen Ando received the Lifetime Achievement Award.
It's been 15 years of unstoppable pushing. I've been nominated in this category 6 times, It's really a lot of effort and hard work and dedication, and I keep pushing. 2 years ago, I had 7 nominations. I got to the award. I didn't win any award, So I just keep pushing. It doesn't discourage me. I just keep putting in work, and you know what I'm saying. And finally, I got it, and I'm very excited about that. And I thank God for everything.
In all, over 25 disc jockeys were celebrated for excellence. Other awardees on the night included DJ Lord OTV, who won Events DJ of the Year, and Kojo Manuel, who picked up the Best MC Hype Man of the Year. The Guinness Ghana DJ Awards is powered by Smirnoff Ice. Marketing Manager, Spirits and RTDs Ya Amwa Owusu noted that Smirnoff is committed to helping DJs gain recognition, build networks, and access new opportunities.
It's our 3rd year, and it's been an amazing journey. One of the reasons why we signed this 3-year partnership was one, to put a spotlight on the DJs, and I'm happy to say that within the past 3 years, we've seen that these DJs, some of them are actually coming up with their own shows. We see the likes of DJ Lord, etc. Highlighting or heroing so many top, shows in Ghana. We see some even coming up with their own shows. We see some of them traveling across the borders to do so many amazing things. The second one was, how do we drive diversity and inclusion with our partnership? And I can say that boldly, we have seen female penetration grow so strong within the DJ fraternity. We've also seen that a lot of young DJs, campus from the universities, etc., are also springing up and doing amazing for themselves. So all of these things are really true success that we have brought together with our beautiful partnership with the Mercury Republic over the past 3 years. We're going to continue this amazing journey because it is just a step in the right direction. We want to definitely continue to lead and shape, and there's only one brand that can do that. That is Smirnoff, the world's #1 favorite vodka and ready-to-drink beverage.
Well, that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
Thank you, Noella. It's now time for international news.
Left-wing Cameroonian opposition figure Anicet Ekane has died in detention 5 weeks after he was arrested, according to a spokesman for Ekane's African Movement for New Independence and Democracy Party. Ekane died on Monday morning at a military medical facility after his health worsened over the weekend. Ekane, 74, was among the leaders of opposition coalition who endorsed Issa Chiroma Bakari in October's presidential election. Chiroma Bakari says he was the rightful winner of the poll, officially won by 92-year-old incumbent Paul Biya. Chiroma Bakari has since fled to the Gambia.
And that's it for our package this evening. Thank you so much for spending the last hour with us. I am Martin Asiedu-Date.
And I am Portia Gabo. Do join Alfredo Concert at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight, as well as 9 p.m. the sports station. Good evening.